They came to comfort him. At least, that's how it started. Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar. 3 men, 3 sets of eyes, widened by grief, narrowed by suspicion. They sat with Job for 7 days without saying a word. And for those 7 days, they did the most holy thing they'd ever do. They wept with him. They saw how great his suffering was, and they stayed quiet. But when Job finally spoke, when he cracked open the weight in his chest and cursed the day he was born, they couldn't help themselves. They did what religious people often do when faced with pain they can't explain. They made it Job's fault. Eliphaz leaned on dreams and said, "The innocent don't suffer." Bildad pointed to the past and said, "Your children must have sinned." Zophar rolled his eyes and said, "You're lucky God hasn't punished you more." They believed in a God of math, where suffering equals sin and blessings equal behavior. But Job never cursed God. He just asked, wept, wrestled, and waited. He said, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." He said, "I know my Redeemer lives." He stood in ashes, not because he was guilty, but because he was chosen to be trusted with mystery. And then God spoke, not to condemn Job, but to correct the ones who thought they understood. "I am angry with you," God said to the friends, "for you have not spoken what is right about me, as my servant Job has." Job never got an answer to his questions, but he got something better. He got God. And then he did the unthinkable. He prayed for the very friends who accused him. God restored him. Twice as much, twice as full, twice as favored. Because Job's suffering didn't mean God had left. It meant God was writing something deeper. This is BibleBlooms, where grief isn't solved with formulas, where pain doesn't make you less faithful, and where the ones who ask the hardest questions may be the ones God trusts the most. Because true faith doesn't always sound holy. Sometimes it sounds like ashes. Sometimes it's silence. And sometimes it's standing when the world calls you wrong. But heaven knows who was right.